Alrighty then. I remember to unmute this time. This is episode 17 of the podcast. I'm joined by Spoon, who's apparently getting his ass handed to him by Spectrum. So that's new.
Yeah, it's actually been good lately, but uh and it's been fine all day until the last 10 minutes, so we'll
Yep.
see.
Well, that's what happens. That's what happens. That's how Spectrum works. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about a lot of news today. I don't even think we'll get through the news and have anything else to talk about. There was like a garbage truck load of stuff that we got, and we'll be starting with the Bethesda and Microsoft official acquisition. The acquisition was finalized recently, so even though that was happening, it's been happening for the past 6 months. They finally made it official. But before we do that, we're gonna switch gears a bit into doing the, of course, as per usual, section where I talk about YouTube and Twitter and all this other stuff that you should be, seeing on my tweets, on Spoon's tweets, on the Discord's channel, and all that. So for starters, we have this YouTube channel. You guys, I think we've been very slow with our uploads just because I personally was super busy. Spoon has school, of course, so we're both busy. And I was particularly busy for the past week and a half just because I went camping and I had tons of homework to catch up on, which I did catch up on officially today. So I'm hoping that I'll have more time to commit to other things past next week. But the we're still putting up videos. The podcast from last week went up yesterday, and already seeing some good activity on that. I think all of our podcast episodes recently have been seeing good activity of late, but obviously it could, hopefully it gets better and better. And I'm trying to, obviously I haven't played a ton of Xenoblade personally, but I did upload the raw Xenoblade video. I didn't have any time to edit it personally. So there will be, I'm thinking there will be a Rainbow Six stream tomorrow. I have to confirm with those guys, but that'll be something that's uploaded. My hope is I can upload that tomorrow night, but everybody check out our YouTube, please. A lot of work goes into it. It's, you may not think it is, but we put some time into it. We put time into timestamps. I'm not sure, did we get timestamps on the recent one, Spoon, or no?
Yeah, I did
You
it.
did.
I did it
So the
yesterday.
most recent video, which we'll take a look at, does have timestamps again. I thought, again, we do that for you guys in case you just don't want to read about Marvel's Avengers XP change, for example. I mean, you can skip over that if you'd like. So that's the reason
Or
we do
you
it.
don't
And
want to watch us do the same introduction that we do every single week
yeah,
in
if you guys
every
just
single
want to skip
video.
the intro, like it's there for
That
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 reason.
makes sense.
Yeah. So that's the quick intro for the YouTube. Um, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else we should be discussing from the podcast side?
No,
Okay.
I think we're good. I mean, I don't Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like our sort of viewership and activity, at least as far as the Twitch and like the Discord has been a little bit down recently. Maybe that's our fault a little bit because we've been busy and we haven't been that active either.
Sure.
But you
That's
know,
true. That is true.
those of you who are around and watching, we definitely appreciate if you see something interesting you want to mention or talk
That's Spectrum right there, by the way,
in the
folks.
podcast.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I agree with what Spoon said. You got Spectrumed a little bit there, so you got cut
yeah.
off a little.
It's
Um,
gonna be one of those days
it's
apparently.
it's gonna be one of those days. So we like, again, I think Spoon and I, because we're both currently in school at the moment, and also like generally speaking, again, like I've been very busy doing other things, trying to coordinate stuff for next week, which I'll probably just touch on later in the episode. But we'll try and sort of be a bit more active. We do try and post the game news stuff that we find there for people who are interested. I don't think we posted all of it because there was just like a metric ton of stuff by comparison to some other weeks. So that's kind of the reason why we didn't get all of it in there. But we'll go over all of it now, and maybe I'll throw some of those links into the Discord after the podcast just in case people want to read them, because there's just a lot of stuff. But so just let's move forward here. There's tons of news, and like there's not all the time in the world, obviously. We both kind of posted stuff with this. You posted this for the Bethesda acquisition because it was official. I mean, it's just like obviously those Bethesda games are going to get added to Xbox Game Pass, which is just true. Those are going to get added. 20 Bethesda games were added to Game Pass. This article in particular says tomorrow, but they are on Game Pass right now because this was updated March 11th. So just to go down the list of these games: Dishonored 1 and 2, all the Doom games, but especially the recent ones like Doom Eternal, for example, being on there is huge. Fallout New Vegas, which is a great game. Fallout 4, decent game. Fallout 76, no comment. You know, the Elder Scrolls games from 3 to Skyrim. Elder Scrolls Online, which is kind of interesting. I don't think it comes with the DLC. Wolfenstein, New Order, and Old Blood, which are good games. Young Blood, I think that was a new one. That wasn't very good from what I heard. Also, most of these games will be available through the Cloud Play, which is like PC and an extension onto potentially mobile devices and things like that. That's for the Game Pass Ultimate members. Additionally, just going to keep going, and then we'll go through all of it. Several other games are coming soon to Game Pass. Outriders, which is a new title coming out in April, like April 1st, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Undertale, Yakuza, I can't tell which one that is.
That's
6? Yakuza 6. Empire of Sin, that's a recent game, by the way. Squadrons, again, fairly recent game. Octopath Traveler, I gotta be honest, I was completely shocked by this. Nier Automata, and all these other ones. I think like Torchlight kind of is there, but like some of these ones I don't know much about. But there are plenty of really big games in here. Like for me, like Outriders is coming out soon, and I would love to try that game. We've been talking about it recently, you and I, Spoon. Octopath Traveler, we know that's a good game. Empire Sin's recent. Squadrons is is a good game from what I've heard. Undertale, I mean, yeah, Undertale's Undertale. It's a good game. And Nier Automata, also a good game. Yeah, I mean, it's just like I'm just saying I'm surprised because I think for me, I know it's on PC right now, so it's on Switch and PC. This got to Game Pass before PlayStation, which I find kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's not on PlayStation.
I find that really interesting.
It's not on PlayStation.
Yeah. So these are the stuff coming to Game Pass. So yeah, Spoon, your comments on all this.
Well, let's go over Bethesda real quick.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
go back to that for a minute. There are a couple of notable absences from this list, in my opinion. Fallout 3 is one of them,
Yep,
which
that's true.
seems weird. I just don't understand why Fallout 3 isn't there.
Give it a second, everyone.
Yeah, are we okay? Are we there?
You're back. You're talking about Fallout 3.
Yeah, it's just an odd absence from the list. I know people really like Fallout. I'm not gonna be able to talk today.
Oof.
Like anytime I say anything, it's just rip.
Yeah, this is a tough day. um, yeah, Fallout. I didn't even notice that Fallout 3 was not on here. What was the other title that you were going to mention?
I think Doom 2016 is not on here. I think the other Doom, like Doom 2, 64, Doom 3, those are the older games. But then
Right.
you have Eternal, which is the newest one, but Doom 2016 is not on there.
It's not on there. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was, but I didn't even register that Doom and Doom 2016 they're obviously separate, but I didn't even register that because whenever I hear Doom, I always think of the recent one now. So yeah, Doom 2016 is not on here as well. Fallout 3, I would say since I think we've both played it. I don't know if you've actually played it that much, but I played a decent amount of it. I mean, it's like pretty good. I think New Vegas is still better, but it's pretty good, and
Yeah,
Doom 2016 is good. So
Yeah,
interesting absences.
I played Fallout 3 a little bit, and other than that, I haven't really played Fallout. I didn't get into it
Sure.
um that much. But yeah, I know for 4 and 76 people don't like very much compared to 3 in New Vegas, especially.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. I mean, New Vegas is like the it's considered one of the better ones of. We'll stay with like the last since Fallout 3 of the more recent Fallout games, which by that's not that recent, right? But um, I think there was some concern just to mention this to put it out there because people were talking about this. People are definitely concerned that Bethesda titles moving forward are going to be Xbox exclusive, which, by the way, isn't necessarily true. They will be PC games too. They'll be on PC because
you just might have to buy them through the
yeah,
Xbox
you just yeah,
platform and not Steam
yeah.
on the
Though
PC.
I imagine Microsoft will allow it on Steam because like I
Yeah,
think
we'll see.
Halo Infinite's going to be on Steam, so
Yeah,
that
maybe they don't care. Maybe they just don't care. Who
I think they
knows?
just don't care, as long as it's out there on their console and PC. I do think that we will see not. I think there's still major Bethesda titles will hit other systems. Like Elder Scrolls 6, I imagine will hit another system like PlayStation.
PS5.
Yeah. I I I don't see I mean like obviously it would make sense for it not to be, right? But Microsoft hasn't really been as uptight about those kinds of things as PlayStation has because that's like not the big thing for them. But I do think some of the smaller Bethesda titles will be exclusive. I do think when Bethesda comes out a title that isn't Fallout or Elder Scrolls, some of these other titles may just end up being exclusive. I actually like wouldn't be at all surprised if, like, for example, any other new Doom iterations just go exclusive to Xbox and PC. Just wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think the Fallout series, but mostly the Elder Scrolls series, is so big that I think they're just like, okay, well, let's just put it out on as many platforms as we can. Um, I think they'll still do that. So I don't think people should be concerned about those ones. But all these other like titles that are I don't want to say lesser known, but not as big as something like Elder Scrolls, I could definitely see those just immediately going exclusive and that being the end of it. Um, and then yeah, I mean like Game Pass just keeps getting better. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, this this was a big surprise to me when this hit at the end of last week, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Outriders was like, this is a Square Enix game that is not even out yet. It's coming out on April 1st,
Mm-hmm.
and they just had a demo or a beta, something along those lines. From what I heard, it was pretty good. People seem to generally like the initial impressions of this game, so we'll see. Yeah, Octopath is, I mean, that game's just great.
Yeah,
So if you haven't played it yet and you have Game Pass, please, yeah, give that a shot. Near, I mean, that one's been out a while, but still, Near Automata is a big one. Empire of Sin, Yakuza Society. I mean, this is a this is a big drop for Game Pass. This is a lot of big titles on this
yeah.
one on this new inclusion. So yeah,
I, this is a really big one. I again like I haven't had Game Pass in a while, but man, it's super tempting right now, specifically for Outriders
yeah,
and some other some other stuff to just like have it for some of these other games I'm seeing. It's just like it's so tempting now, and it's such good value if you're playing it enough. So I Game Pass just keeps getting better. That's all I have to say. I think they're doing a great job of working with, you know, they're expanding their reach, and that's the right thing to do. Octopath Traveler, it's a JRPG game. It's not really something you'd think of when you think of Microsoft games or Xbox games. Frankly, it's good to expand a little bit. Octopath was obviously like a incredibly I would say, an incredibly popular game. I'm just going to say it is.
Especially since, by the way, that game was a Switch exclusive
Yeah.
for like at least a year or something
Mm-hmm.
before it
Mm-hmm.
came to PC.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean that game blew up. That game absolutely blew up. It was really popular on Switch, and I assume it just got even more popular once it came to PC. And
Right.
we're
You're
gonna
going to
expand
get,
the audience
and
even
you're
more with
expanding
Game
the audience. Yep.
Pass.
Yeah. No, it's great. It really is great. So I think again, good to get more stuff in here. And yeah, Outriders is very cool. Like again, like that's another that like I said, that's a great reason to get Game Pass right there for me at least. Any other thoughts regarding Game Pass here and Bethesda Game Pass games?
No, yeah, I think we're good for this. I'm with you. I don't have Game Pass right now. I just don't have time to really use it, and it's not worth it. But it, you know, their library continues to expand and get better. So
Yeah,
I
I
still
agree.
say it's a great deal.
Yep. I agree. Okay. Uh, I don't know how much we did talk about this briefly last week. I think with the FIFA stuff, did we touch on it a lot? If not, then
I don't think so.
I think we did. So EA responded to all this March 12th, so Friday of last week, if my math is correct there. The short version of this is there there's an employee at EA selling to individuals FIFA cards. And this employee was selling FIFA cards at a hefty price tag. Over $1,000 for some of these cards. These are like really big, iconic type cards. I think they're actually called icons or something. But EA is making an investigation, and I'm just going to talk about some excerpts from this. I'm going to skip the first paragraph here because that's a nothing burger. But while a full investigation is underway, we wanted to share an update on the issue, including what we've learned to date, an overview of the FIFA Ultimate Team content granting process, and the actions we're taking to tackle this serious problem. They just say that obviously the behavior is unacceptable. They don't condone it. So this part's interesting. This practice runs counter to the game's competitive integrity, is a violation of EA's user agreement, and is not something we tolerate. Of course, it's a violation of the user agreement, and of course, nobody should tolerate it. But it's like, it's kind of interesting that they talk about competitive integrity in a game where the more money you put into it, the better your team is. And there may be some folks that would consider that not having much competitive integrity
Yeah,
because it requires you to whip out your wallet to stay
yeah.
competitive, which
There is no competitive integrity.
yeah,
It's you pay thousands of dollars to get all the best players. Good.
yeah,
There's your
like
competitive
we
integrity.
we talked about, various different purchases in games like Valorant and all those things, but frankly speaking, those exorbitant purchases, for whatever they're worth, they don't affect the competitive gameplay for the most part. At least they shouldn't. With some of these games like League of Legends, I mentioned Valorant just because we've talked about like massive costing skins, like these card packs. They are 100%. The more you acquire, whether it's just by play or by paying extra money, there's a higher probability your team is going to be better. That's just how it works. And having a better team means that you're going to perform better. There is a massive difference in some of these teams rate and player ratings when your player is a 95 as opposed to an 85. That's a massive difference for these games in particular. It really is. So I just find it kind of interesting that they obviously they're going to mention something like that because that's just them pretending they really do care about it. But yeah, I just find it interesting that it's in here. They continue to talk about why it's unacceptable. Really, I don't have to read any more of this to just show. Okay, they're like, okay, hey, we don't like this. Players, the employee found to have done this will be obviously let go and fired, and will obviously never be involved with the company anymore. And any players to have acquired the content will be banned. That's what this means. And then they talk about content granting, and it's a bunch of boring stuff that you don't want to read. So the big stuff from this is that an employee within the company was selling icon cards, which happen to be the best cards in the game for the most part, I would say, and I think most others would say, and that this happened for, I think, quite some time before they found out about it. And there are people that have just been buying these cards, and these cards are worth thousands of dollars, which means there's actually a market value for these cards with real money. Spoon, any thoughts?
Uh, I mean, the Ultimate Team sucks. the dude, the dude who is, I mean, I don't. How did they go into how he was doing this? Because you can't like trade the cards. Was he pulling for cards on an account and then selling the account to someone? Is that like
I'm
how
not
he did it?
sure.
Because
My guess is, for example, with NBA 2K, there are locker codes. What if this person could generate a locker code for these players?
okay, so it's like
But
a redeem code or something.
but you would catch that kind of thing, so I don't think it's that. It's got to be something else. But like, because you would catch that, like it would be very easy to see in the system, unless those icon players were like already locker codes that were saved into the system. But like, I feel like you'd kind of know when they're on, like when they're those codes are used. I don't know. Like it's kind of interesting how the person got away with it for however long they did. I feel like there's a lot of tracking mechanisms in place. Maybe this person just found a nice little loophole to abuse. That's my guess, though. But like that stuff seems way too easy to catch. Like this person's probably been doing this for some time. Like they have a better system than what I just mentioned, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, again, this shouldn't be a thing because Ultimate Team shouldn't be a thing. These packs shouldn't be as expensive as they are. The rates shouldn't be as bad as they are. And this person shouldn't have been able to get away with this. And the people on the other end of it who is actually buying these things shouldn't be paying thousands of dollars for one card. That's just asinine, in my opinion. But I guess if you
It's
have that much disposable income, whatever. But
it
I,
it seems ridiculous.
I, my mind cannot fathom being this, yeah, being that irresponsible, I suppose, with, either as the employee who's actually doing this, selling the cards. I mean, he, just being a scumbag, or the people, again, the people on the other end buying it, just literally throwing away thousands of dollars for
Right.
a digital good that doesn't really get you anything. I guess it gets you a competitive advantage in Ultimate Team if you want to play online. And but you're gonna lose that next year when the next version of FIFA
Yeah.
comes out and you buy that again.
That
So
that card is that valuable for about,
like
at,
6 months
at
tops,
most 12 months when the
like
next
a
one comes
year.
out. But like realistically, with the way the cards scale, they scale on purpose. Obviously, these companies are very very smart in how they do this. When these games drop, the players, the cap on rating of a lot of these players is like I'm gonna guess about, like, okay, you're not gonna see many players above 90, and then a month into the season they'll raise the cap like one or two, and then they'll keep doing that, and that way people go, oh, my team of 90s now isn't as good as somebody who like 3 months later got got the players that are now
90,
at a cap of like
92.
95. And so this is how they do it. They like release the game with player ratings of like a certain level, and then they raise it so they basically get power creeped. And it's
Yep.
a very smart and scummy system.
I continue again. I just cannot comprehend the sports game community that put up with this nonsense. I don't understand, but whatever.
They've got their one or two games that they play and really like, and they're willing to put all of the money they would spend on other games into that one game.
But
It's
even still, if I bought, let's say,
mm,
someone like me who I guess the genres I play are a little bit narrow now. I play mostly RPGs, but let's say I buy 10 games in a year. That's
Mm-hmm.
$600. Let's assume full price for
Sure.
everything. That's $600.
Sure.
That's still less by a long shot than anyone who plays these and spends thousands of dollars on these card packs,
Yep.
or if apparently you're buying one card for $1,000 or a
Yep.
couple $1,000s, whatever it was. So I still don't. I mean, I just don't understand.
There are people that do that. It's the same folks that spend that much money on gacha games, right? It's like their thing. You're hooked. You're hooked on like either a collector's mentality or you got to be competitive, so you got to spend the money to get the cards. Free to play isn't really a thing. I feel like there are people who try it, but free to play isn't really a thing in these games. So
Not
you're
an Ultimate Team, that's for
yeah,
sure.
and not in any of the other sports games for sure. So EA says they don't like this stuff. I mean, obviously they shouldn't. It's very bad for them in multiple different ways, but them talking about competitive integrity is
Yeah, that's a joke.
that's a bit of a joke. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Marvel's Avengers because we love that game. It's probably our favorite game, I think. Crystal Dynamics, the
It's our
developer.
favorite game
yeah.
that we've never played.
It's the favorite game that I played in beta and then never played again.
Oh, I didn't even play the beta.
I played in beta and never played again. And I gotta be honest, at the time in beta I was like, oh, maybe this game will be okay. And now we're here, and I'm like, wow, this is a disaster. Crystal Dynamics says they're committed to Marvel's Avengers for years to come. Roadmap being worked on. Okay, I want to show you guys something. Electronic Arts CEO states they are committed to Anthem. It's like there's like what are the ad libs? It's like an ad lib game. It's like an ad lib game. You ever do like the ad lib games when you were younger or something? You like fill in things, or like, okay, give me a noun. Okay, give me an adjective. Give me a verb. I think there's one for PR speak when it comes to some of these games that are live services. They're like, noun, Crystal Dynamics. Okay, is blank. What should we say for like a verb? Committed.
Committed.
To noun. Marvel's Avengers. There's like this ad lib. I think that's just like fill in the blanks on this like template because it's the same goddamn template here. Company is committed to game that should get constant updates.
For time frame.
Roadmap being worked on, blank time frame. It's like it is so funny. And on Anthem's side, EA CEO, who's still Andrew Wilson, said that Anthem was going to be around for like, I think he actually said 7 to 10 years. He did. IP lives for generation and runs in these 7 to 10 year cycles. So if I think about Anthem on a 7 to 10 year cycle, it may not have had the start that many of us wanted, including our players. I feel like that team is really going to get there with something special, something great, because they've demonstrated that they can.
Instead, they had a 2-year cycle of game released, game was trash.
Trying to fix it.
They released a few updates to try and energize the fan base. Then they went silent, said we were going to reboot it, and then it's dead.
Yeah, it's just like, I swear to God, there's like some like document that's sent to some of these companies or like developers and such, and they're like, okay, look, can you just fill the blanks in with some shit so that we can get this out there and, pretend we care?
So, the one thing that I will mention that is different between this statement and the EA one that you mentioned is this is Crystal Dynamics, who is the developer of the game.
Yeah.
And the other one was EA, who is the publisher of the game.
Fair.
I ain't seeing Square Enix saying shit about being committed to this.
Square's in the corner reading this article going, huh, that's cute. That's cute. Okay.
We'll just cut that funding real quick.
So we reached out to Square Enix for comment, and they just started laughing. They just started laughing. We couldn't even talk to them. They just kept laughing and saying, okay. By the way, remember Final Fantasy? We're working on that. We're doing that now. We've moved on. So, let's see. It's March 17th. So I think the newest content drop for this game comes out very soon, if not already. I don't
I'm pretty sure it was this week sometime.
Yeah, it was this week for sure. But so Crystal Dynamics, obviously from the title, says that they are um, they're committed to this game, and I think they were actually talking about this stuff during a developer stream. Actually, it says right here that it was during a developer stream, showcasing Hawkeye. They were answering questions, and one of the questions was about their commitment. And so they said, "We understand, but rest assured, we're committed to the future of Marvel's Avengers for years to come, and have been working on a whole lot of things, which we are excited to reveal. Looking forward to seeing you there in next gen." I have okay. I don't know what it is, but I'm in a mood today. I'm in like a pretty good mood, and I'm ready to just like, I have to put this out there. I really do have to put this out there. If you're in the Twitch chat of the developer stream, and you ask this question, this is what I call a dumb question. This is an example of a dumb question. What are they supposed to say? What do you want them? What do you think they're going to say? They're not going to say something that isn't positive. Like, do you really think the developer, while they're like showing this thing off and reading the chat, goes, "Oh, somebody wrote a chat message asking about the commitment to the game from us, the developer"? What do you think they're going to say? They're going to be like, "You know what? We're showing you this thing. We don't give a fuck, and frankly, we're done after a few months." What do you expect them to say? I think these kinds of questions. I know what you're trying to do with your questions, but like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, you know they're going to say something positive. You know they will. This is like, it's the stupid fill in the blanks thing again. Yeah, it's just like, okay, like, what do you expect? I don't get it. I don't get this question. I have to be honest. It's a dumb question. I apologize if you were the one that asked it and saw this, me saying that it was a dumb question, but it really is. What do you want them to say? What do you think they're going to say? Like, of course they're going to say, like, yes, we're committed. We're being positive about this game we developed and we care about. They're not going to say...
what are they going to do otherwise? They're just going to close the studio and stop working? Like
what? I don't understand what you want.
They're going to keep working on this game until Square Enix or whoever, maybe... I don't know if Square Enix owns them or if like some other publisher comes to them and gives them another project. They're going to keep working on this game until they either shut the studio down for whatever reason or they get another project to work on.
Yeah.
What else are they going to do?
Like, I think the only thing that you're looking for, if you're like asking about that, is like, okay, maybe they're going to add like a roadmap to that. And of course they're working on a roadmap, which it sounds nice, but
I don't know why they didn't have a roadmap from the beginning, but
I think they did. I think they were probably going to, but it got completely
scrapped
on.
it.
I think it got crapped on because they had to delay all their different content due to, I think, like partly just the game being in the state that it was, and with COVID and all these different things piled on.
Ghost is right. Most of these games that have come out and had a roadmap, you could pretty much use the roadmap as toilet paper because they never adhere to it.
It's just like, I will say there are some... Here's the thing, and you're going to laugh at me when I say this. Fallout 76 had a roadmap, and they stuck to it. Shockingly. They had this roadmap for like over a year and a half, and they stuck to it. Occasionally they can. Occasionally they can. Let's not say that all of them can. Occasionally
they also added a $100 a year subscription to that piece of shit game.
Yeah.
So.
That's besides my point. That's beside the whole point. So, okay. So yeah, what else is in here? Okay, Crystal Dynamics says that the upcoming future imperfect DLC is just the beginning, which could mean that there's a ton more Marvel's Avengers content headed our way. Oh my god, I'm in a mood. I almost started laughing when I read just the beginning. God, this is Anthem. This is Anthem. I have no faith in this. I just think it's like, I don't know. I'm in a mood with this game. It's just like so funny during the developer stream, and obviously you want your fans to ask you about the game. But if you're asking like, "Oh, what's your commitment on this game?" and you expect anything less than "We're committed and we're doing this and we've got a roadmap," you're fooling yourself. No developer is going to come out there and say, "Well, we've decided that this game sucks. After this DLC, we're done, and suck it." What do you want them to say? So I don't know.
This game sucks. Nobody likes it. And
The,
yeah, I'm gonna go take a vacation. See
and
you later,
after and
dude.
I'm and after this, we're moving on to Project C. And I'm like, again, obviously you want them to hear to hear them say that and not ignore the question, but it's just like, come on, guys, you give a better question. I just think it's a bad question in general. But
Yeah.
any other thoughts regarding Marvel's Avengers?
Well, we'll see where it goes. I would love to see this game pull itself out of the ditch, so to speak, but I'm not hopeful for that. I
Yeah,
doubt it'll happen. I agree with you. I think this is an Anthem situation where, and I think we've said this every time we've talked about it, in 6 months to a year, we're going to get a similar thing that we got with Anthem like a few weeks ago that was like, yeah, we're done. Yeah,
we're
we're good with this. Yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if Square was like, you're committed, but we're not.
But we're,
So,
we're not.
and that's
And we're the money. And we're the
I mean,
money.
like,
So,
yeah.
no.
I will mention just as an added note, like I like if this game doesn't work out, I don't want Crystal Dynamics to like really suffer for that, as in like the company has to fold and people lose their jobs. But
Yeah,
like
I don't want that. Yeah, I don't want that
we don't
either
want that. But
because
it's just like
they did make the new Tomb Raider games, which were quite good.
yeah. I I don't know. I think I'm in a mood for just like the Mad Libs thing. Um, I, okay. So we had I'm going to skip over obviously because this is an old article saying that EA's committed to Anthem, which obviously is hysterical. Oh, I added this in here. Square Enix is having their first, I guess, world premiere. Sorry, digital direct, and several games are going to be talked about, including a world premiere of the next Life is Strange. If you haven't played Life is Strange, it's a nice, like, I think it's a really good game. It's really interesting and fun. But Square is going to be talking about Outriders. We talked about that already. Marvel's Avengers. That's, it is what it is. Tomb Raider 25th anniversary. I'm very curious about that. I don't know the Square Enix Montreal games. We talked about this before, and
Yeah, I don't know what they make.
yeah, and then Just Cause Mobile, which I don't know, and Balan Wonderworld. But
Balan Wonderland, yeah.
yeah, one. It says Wonderworld down here or something. Oh
So,
yeah, whatever.
oh, Wonderworld. Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
So tomorrow at 10 a.m. this is happening. Spoon and I talked about this. Our plan was to do a live stream of it for the 40-minute. It looks like just set of trailers and announcements. So if anybody's interested and has time, wants to stop by, more than welcome. But yeah, well, that'll be tomorrow, and hopefully there'll be some cool information regarding Outriders. I'm super curious what they talk about with Marvel's Avengers besides the DLC that's coming out. I'm super
Oh,
curious, actually.
also, side note, I saw this on Twitter today. Apparently, Matt Mercer is going to be the host of this thing.
Oh,
So
oh
that
boy,
that'll be funny.
he better be involved in one of these games that they're talking about, like as in some way. I don't want. I hate this. I don't want to be this person, but like, if you're gonna bring in someone like Matt Mercer, who is a voice actor, I feel like they should have the voice actor be involved in like some title. Maybe he's in Life is Strange. Who knows? I would love it if he was like involved in one of the games too, and not just there to like be the host. That would I'm
Be
just
the
saying it.
face.
Yeah. I would like some added bonus to that because he does great work. So it would be nice to go, oh yeah, he's going to be in some future work for Square Enix games. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I was saying this to Otto when we were talking. I hope we see some RPG stuff out of this as well, because Square Enix is, at least to me, still primarily a JRPG developer, and none of these games that they've listed here are JRPGs. So
Well, they're
I hope
they're
we
Western
see,
RPGs.
yeah, I would hope we see something from either Final Fantasy. We probably won't see Kingdom Hearts because they said they weren't going to talk about Kingdom Hearts this year, so I'm not expecting that. Um,
Yeah,
something new. I'm trying to think what else. Was
we're not.
Elden Ring? No, Elden Ring
No,
isn't Square, is it?
no, it's. I don't think
Um,
so.
they had another game like Babylon's Fall they announced forever ago, and we've seen bits and pieces of it. Maybe that. I don't know. I hope there's some surprises in
Hmm.
this, and it's not just what they showed here, basically. And
I
we'll see. We'll see what they come out with.
I feel there will be a surprise. I feel there will be. I I personally hope so. There's a little surprise here, but this is obviously being headlined by the new Life is Strange
Yep.
world premiere trailer, I imagine. So,
And they'll probably do a chunk on
of
Outriders since
course,
that game's coming out in like 2 weeks.
yeah.
So
So it's like worth noting that Life is Strange seems to be the headliner here. Okay, we'll do a live stream of that tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific time. We'll be here for it. Feel free to hop in and watch with us. And I don't know if there'll be a VOD of that. Just to be clear, like there could be some music that YouTube wouldn't like, so that's doubtful.
yep.
Okay. Here's a Kotaku article regarding Pokemon Go eggs. Spoon and I have not played this game in a long time, but there is a system in this game which is you hatch eggs. That's a Pokemon system in the mainline series. So these eggs, according to developer Niantic, they had released some more information and transparency with the eggs, specifically like the rates of the Pokemon you can get from the eggs. Although the rates weren't really shown that well. They did show like percentages from my understanding. They did show what Pokemon could come from the eggs. Not in this article, unfortunately, but there was an article that we were looking at where these eggs can produce certain Pokemon from them. It's a random chance. The eggs themselves, the way you hatch them is you walk. You just walk around, and very much like the mainline Pokemon games, the egg will hatch after a certain number of steps. However, this game has a system that Pokemon doesn't have, to my knowledge, which is an incubator. Incubators allow the number of steps to be reduced, or it basically increases the timer at which these eggs can be hatched. These eggs, for those of you that know Pokemon, like eggs normally you sort of know what Pokemon you're getting from the eggs, just the way breeding works. But in this case, there's like a pool of Pokemon you could get from an egg. So you really don't know what you're going to get for the most part, as opposed to Pokemon, you would just have a better understanding. What people are really upset about is the fact that not just that Kotaku said that these eggs aren't loot boxes, they're fun little presents, which that might sound familiar for some of you.
Surprise mechanics.
There you go. But also that this person seems to be under the belief that these eggs do not offer any sort of advantage, and that buying the incubators and having the speed up to that doesn't provide the advantage, just like a loot, and it doesn't act like a loot box. And the if anybody here knows how Pokemon works, I hope you do. Some Pokemon are just better than others. That's just how it is. A Garchomp is inherently better than a Caterpie. You can't challenge me on that. So if, let's say there's like a probability of 5% to get the Garchomp. Well, side to side, both player A and player B have the same probability. However, if I'm only able to open one egg a day and player B spends $5 to open 3 a day, chances are player B will get the Garchomp faster than I will. That's just how it is. So there is an advantage to pay because you're opening more eggs. The eggs have a random assortment of Pokemon in it, and some are obviously better than others. And to say that that doesn't offer any sort of advantage is what is upsetting people. And you can see it in the comments. The game's eggs are a system that offer the player no meaningful advantages and all works perfectly well within the core game without ever having to spend any money at all. That is a quote from the article. And this person says, some Pokemon are better and rarer than others. People spend money on incubators because you want to open them faster. So also you get like one free incubator, and after that, all the other incubators, I don't remember how many, I think it's like 7 or 9 you pay for. So it's just like, it's ridiculous. And according to the people who obviously play the game more than we do, some Pokemon are just exclusive to eggs. So, like, and apparently eggs have an advantage over wild Pokemon. Like, maybe their stats are better or something else is better.
It's loot boxes, guys.
There's loot boxes. is a freaking loot box. If all those things are true, which I'm just going to assume they are, because there are people playing this game more than us.
And in this, instead of buying the loot boxes, you buy something that allows you to open loot boxes faster.
Right. Which is a mechanism in gacha games. Most gacha games have a mechanism like this that runs in a timer. In fact, I would say all of them do. Actually, I'm not even going to say.
Is there a way in how you earn the eggs themselves, or is it just like an infinite resource and it's just a timer that it opens every so often?
That's a great question. That is a great question. How to get Pokemon eggs in Pokemon Go? They're found at random from Pokestops. So there's different levels of Pokemon eggs. You can get some from gifts, some from like rocket leaders, I guess, but Pokestops as well. So it seems like to acquire them, you're
just gonna earn them periodically as you play the game, basically.
You'll earn them periodically, sure. I don't think you pay for a Pokemon egg. At least that didn't seem like that. I mean, maybe that's the case. Maybe
you pay to be able to open them more quickly.
Yes, which is 100% incentivized to the paying player.
It's loot boxes. Yeah. Got it. This Kotaku article is just Pepega, and that's it.
This editor, we don't even play this game, but just hearing all these things, it's a loot box. Just say it's okay. It's okay to say it's a loot box. It's a Pokemon Go.
It's a mobile game.
It's a mobile game. They have to make money a certain way. Gacha mechanics make money. We know this. Of course, they're going to add some system like that. It's just that's the monetization strategy. So just say it's a loot box. Say it's like a gacha system. Move on. You don't have to try and
to defend them
and give a bad take. Just don't give a bad take on this. We know what this is. I mean, it's just like this article just made the rounds. Of course, it got the Twitter ratio, and people just did not like what they read. It just seems kind of funny. It's just a bad take, in my opinion. Any other thoughts regarding the Pokemon Go eggs incubators and Kotaku's really bad editor take?
Nope.
Okay. Recent development from yesterday. Yesterday. Activision fired, it says dozens, but it's actually more like 190 employees at the company. The reason why it says
hundreds would be a better word.
Yeah, hundreds would be a better word. The reason why they said dozens is because 50 of those employees were from the esports and live events part of the company, which I have plenty of thoughts on personally, but we'll just start with the article and then we can both give our thoughts. So they fired 190 people. This isn't dozens. I think this got updated at some point. And 50 of those people were from the esports programming and other live events. There were also folks who were cut from the King.com part of this, which is makers of Candy Crush. And then it does confirm about 190 employees. They mentioned that they were trying to shift away from live events toward online events because you can't run live events right now, and live events are expensive. This part is what actually got me. U.S. workers will receive a minimum 90 days severance and health benefits for a year. Now hold on, as well as a job transition support. They were also given $200 gift cards to Battle.net, the Blizzard online game service. My understanding of all this as well is the employees that were laid off didn't know they were being laid off until they read articles. So that's even worse. Also, as an additional part of this, just going to skip over some of this. Activision Blizzard gave an optimistic outlook for this year and said it expects to hire 3,000 people. So they laid off 190 people, but they're going to hire 3,000. So, and those 50 of those people again were from the esports and live events portion of this. Okay, let me add on a couple other things. It's worth mentioning that this is just another article talking about how they have to reinvent their model because of the pandemic, but also live events are expensive, and they, some people want to make more money than others. It's worth noting that Bobby Kotick or Kotick, whichever one.
Yeah,
I hear both. I hear both.
Yeah,
we'll say Kotick. Bobby Kotick makes $40 million a year, according to the Jason Schreier article from 2020. It's also worth noting that I've seen somewhere else, I couldn't find it, but I've seen other people reference he made $200 million as a bonus this year because he made the shareholders more money. So Bobby Kotick this year alone made $200 million and then $40 million just from salary. So those employees, easily their salaries just like drop in the water compared to the ocean that is his salary. Again, it is worth noting that because like why does an executive need a $200 million bonus at any stretch? He literally did nothing to help the company. The pandemic, frankly, helped a lot of different gaming companies because people are at home playing more games. I don't understand that logic, but okay, go ahead. Your thoughts.
I mean, just more examples of why, honestly, like, American capitalism is just an absolute fucking disaster right now. Because these make just an exorbitant amount of money, and they can't even afford to employ enough people or pay them a reasonable wage. And I mean, they say they're going to hire 3,000 more people, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, and again, this is why, and I don't mean to get political here, but this is why trickle-down economics doesn't work. When you cut taxes for these big corporations, they don't make more jobs. They don't stimulate the economy. These bigwigs just take the money and they pocket it, and they maybe spend it on private jets and yachts, or they just pocket it in an offshore account somewhere, something like that. Yeah, I mean, this is just it's awful. Like, I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, I mean, layoffs happen in
yeah, of course they do.
Business, but when the layoff happens and the person that's being laid off figures it out from an article, obviously it's already bad, but this is just like you're making it worse. You made it worse. It's amazing how they make it worse. And the $200 gift card, the $200 gift card.
Yeah, that's insulting. Like, Ghost said it in the chat, but that's insulting.
That's just insulting. It's just like, okay, there's like so many layers of it. First of all, I don't want, if you lay me off in this fashion, I'm not going to buy shit from your store. Number two, it's $200. Are you serious? So I'm sure some of these employees put, I would guess, particularly because some of them are in the live, the esports program and live events. Overwatch League was in the live events section of this since Overwatch League started, so 2017-ish. That's some of these people have probably been in the company 4+ years. So you're gonna turn around and, beyond the severance package, go, here's $200 gift card to our store. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's just like, that's freaking stupid. It's like somebody thought of that in a room, and that was their brilliant idea too. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just give them like a $200 gift card too. That'll make it better. It's like, wow, yeah, great. It did make it better.
It probably makes it worse, to be honest. Like, again, it's just kind of insulting.
The person that thought of that, wake up and go outside for a while and just look around. Go explore outside of your own circle for a little bit. Go do something. that isn't just going in a private jet or going to a private island, going to travel somewhere. I mean, obviously you can't, but my point is
And
maybe go,
pleasing your investors.
yeah, maybe explore something that isn't where only wealthy people go. Maybe try like spending a week with people who are just like paycheck to paycheck. And then you'll realize that your $200 gift card is the dumbest fucking thing in the planet. Okay. Second point I want to make on this person from the level of the esports event side. Overwatch League and Call of Duty League, the main selling point and the reason why it cost 10 to 40 million dollars to get into those leagues was because they were going to do the live events. They were going to have stadiums. They were going to have geographic teams. So they were going to have, you know, a team, I imagine California. They're going to have a team in Texas. They're going to have Boston. They were going to have a team in Shanghai. They're going to have South Korea. They were supposed to. This was supposed to be a global league where you did live events where fans could come and the fans that were in the area could enjoy, very much like you would do a sports event. That was like their selling point, and that's the reason why it cost so damn much to get in. It cost more than it did to get into League of Legends LCS, you know, which is like amazing to me. And this shift says two things to me. The obvious one is, okay, we're gonna tear down our freaking live events framework for Overwatch League and Call of Duty League, which basically means the main selling point of the league is now obsolete, and it's just like, okay, well, so you're just another league. Like for everything that Overwatch League is, which Overwatch League is at this point I think a joke, among other things, from everything that I've seen. That's my opinion, though. I'm not saying it's a joke to everybody, but it's just like now you're just any other league at this point. There's nothing that differentiates you as the like, oh, we're the one esports league with Call of Duty that's going to do a
other
team,
than that, they're
know.
like the official sponsored league of the, you know, the
Right.
developer and the publisher. But that's the thing.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic. It's just like,
And they have the money to promote it that way.
yeah, sure, they do, of course. And the other part of me that I don't think this will happen, but it's definitely an interesting signal. I wonder how well BlizzCon Line did. The BlizzCon, you know, this recent event that happened online. I wonder if they were like, wow, this did just as well as our live events. Maybe we should stop doing BlizzCon in person.
Because it costs way more money to do
Of course.
stuff in person.
Which
And they're using the excuse that everyone, it's like, oh, it's because of COVID. Of course, we'll go back to live events once COVID's done. I don't believe that for
No,
a
they
second.
won't.
They're like, no, we'll just save all this money and not do live events and just do online because it does just as well or maybe
Right.
better than live events.
There was this interview, and this is from Tony Petitti, who's like he's like the president of sports and entertainment with Activision Blizzard. Okay, he says we learned a lot last year in terms of how the leagues can be structured for online play, and we'll look to carry forward the best practices from that. In terms of timing, it's a reaction to the realities of how the leagues are playing and what resources we need to allocate to best serve the league, owners, teams, and fans. Also noted there are discussions about how to best structure the league even before he started in August. So it's just like they the whole outlook of Overwatch League and Call of Duty League was supposed to be not online, and they're using this COVID as an excuse
As an
to
excuse.
just, yeah, it's an excuse. They're like, oh, it's COVID. They're not gonna go back, by the way. That's just the way it is. It'll be online only. They'll probably do what they did with Overwatch League. Well, they'll have like, maybe they'll go back to what they did at first with Overwatch League. Well, they'll have the one arena in LA or wherever it was in Southern California. Do the same thing with Call of Duty League, and they'll probably just try and do something closer to what League of Legends does, which, they like maybe pick a location and just play all the games there for the playoffs and such, or for Worlds. That's my guess. But this is just like, to me, I don't know. It's Activision being Activision. This is like the third time they've done this over the last few years, where they just like laid off a bunch of employees when they're making record profits, and then they're doing these other things and making excuses for it, and their executives are making way too much money. They're just like, and it just, the gift card thing gets me so much worse than anything else. Okay, any other thoughts from you regarding this garbage?
Nope. Just as you said, just Activision, being a big corporation, and they don't really care about anyone except their investors
All right,
and shareholders,
and
basically.
it's kind of sad. It's just kind of sad because they don't have to be like this, but they are this way.
No, yeah, you could do it, and you could please both. To be honest,
You could.
you could just be not quite as bad, and you could probably please both the community and the shareholders. The shareholders wouldn't be quite as happy because they wouldn't be making quite as much money, but you
Right.
would not draw the ire of the other side so much.
Mm-hmm. But they do. They're really good at it.
I mean, most big corporations are, to be honest.
They're just like, there are some that are particularly good at hiding it. We'll say they're good at hiding it, if anything. But Activision's not good at hiding it.
Nope.
As an off, this is not related to any game news, but I think at some point I want to like rant about this too, because this is just in line with these idiots. You know, I'm sure you saw in the news, like, God, it was last week, right? With the Uber driver that got harassed by these two women, and some of these companies, by the way, I'm not saying they should hire me, but they should have one conversation with me so that I can tell them your PR people are really dumb. Uber's response to somebody getting harassed, attacked, coughed on, and this time that's extremely insulting, among other things, as obviously dangerous. And Uber's response to the person who got harassed, and by the way, like, stopped driving for a while, definitely wanted to see some therapists about the experience. It was traumatic for him. Uber's response is, here's $20. Like, the person stopped driving. That's the income stream for the person. Let's assume it's their like full-time job at this point. That's the income stream. Uber's response is, here's $20. Can you imagine being so dumb to
Go
think
buy
that,
go buy yourself a sandwich, asshole.
yeah, it's just like,
$20.
can you imagine being this stupid? Uber eventually landed on $120.
Wow, 120. Wow, how generous.
And there was a GoFundMe for this driver. The GoFundMe made tens of thousands of dollars or something like that. It made like an insane amount because most people have the common sense to realize, hey, this person just went through an unbelievably challenging experience. Maybe we should treat them like a human being, as opposed to, here's $120. And I just want to comment that if that person was an employee of Uber, but they're not because of Prop 22, they would have had a different response. There would have had to have been a different response to that. But he's not an employee, so Uber can be like, here's $20. So there's like some kind of piss poor PR handbook that's being handed out. It's like PR for dummies, and
No, it's PR for big rich assholes.
exactly, yeah, and dummies. There you go. Some of these dummies, and it's just like, you guys, can you please go outside and just not go in your own circle for like, God, 2 days or something? It's just that Uber thing, that was like one of the most pathetic things I've ever like read. It's like, Uber, really? You thought you landed, like, it's like your first go was $20. I'm sure that was like their bot response. So I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt on the bot response, but the second response had to have not been a bot. So it went from $20 to $40 to $120.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, I'm gonna piggyback off this real quick. I saw an article, I think it was a couple of days ago, that apparently Pfizer is like thinking about doing some stuff with the vaccine, like telling people they got to get like annual booster shots, and like they're like, oh yeah, this is a big chance for us investors with this vaccine. You know, we can get people to get more shots, and like, dude, no, this is healthcare. Like, people need this. Stop being a fucking asshole.
Dude, healthcare is, man, healthcare can just, you think it's like, oh, it's healthcare, you should have some decency, but god damn. Sometimes they just don't.
Well,
Like,
yeah, these guys are drug
yeah,
manufacturers. They're not doctors.
they're
Like,
not doctors. Yeah, of course not. If they were doctors, they would be far more decent and actually be like, yeah, I actually have to take care of these people. Oh god, I'm sorry. This is like this last week was like with the Uber thing and this Activision thing. You sometimes just want to send an email and go, hi, if you hire me for literally nothing, I will tell you you're an idiot. And like, what are you doing? Okay, so this is the last thing. I added this to the list kind of last second because this, I don't know how it is, but I swear to God, whenever Genshin Impact does something, Twitter explodes. So this happened on Twitter yesterday. Twitter exploded because there was a Genshin 1.5 leak. 2 characters got leaked. Okay? There's videos of the characters. I don't actually know how they got leaked. I'm not going to be able to answer it. They've got videos of the characters like in action. Clearly these characters are modeled. This looks like, okay, it's the quality is terrible, but there you go. It looks like the character at some point will be in this game. This is a very flushed out model. This looks like in-game graphics and everything. So I'm going to trust that this is real. And there's the second character. I'm going to turn the audio off on that because I'm scared. This character also has like animations pre-set up, and again, this looks like Genshin Impact graphics, so I'm going to trust it. So these characters leaked. Okay? Frankly speaking, this leak is incredibly innocent, in my opinion. This happens with Genshin Impact all the time, and with other games. I think
like literally every single patch so far has leaked. Like, people knew.
And again, I think it's super innocent. I think it's actually nice that these things happen so people can like, okay, this character's coming out soon. Maybe I should be wise with how save up. Well, MiHoYo finally broke. This was the straw that broke the camel's back. Paimon, the Twitter account for Genshin Impact, was angry. Recently, we discovered the dissemination of leaked version 1.5 content. Such behavior not only disrupts our plans to develop and promote the new version, but also causes some travelers to have misconceptions about the content of the new version. Here, we kindly ask for the support and the help of all travelers to resist leaks and maintain a fair gaming environment. We will also increase our efforts to deal with such illegal disclosures. Okay. There's one last thing I want to mention. Since this game is released, I can't think of a single person that hasn't been asking for 2-factor authentication. If you don't know what that is, look it up. 2-factor authentication is incredibly important, particularly for games like this where people are spending thousands of dollars. It makes hackers' lives easier when 2-factor authentication isn't there. People have been asking for this from Genshin Impact, and frankly, it should be in a lot of other games where a lot of money is being, transferred.
I mean, at this point, it should be in just about everything.
It should be in just about everything, correct. But again, like, money's being transferred in this game, so obviously it should be there, among other things, of course. There's sensitive stuff here. They haven't implemented it yet. So, my comment to this is, ignore the leaks, put 2-factor authentication in the game, because it's apparently pretty, like, I'm not going to say it's easy, but I see a lot of stuff involved with hacker issues with this game. It's just like 2-factor authentication is extremely important. If you can use it on any sort of device or website, you should use it. It's super helpful. You should be doing it. So these characters leaked. MiHoYo got mad because when things leak, I guess it makes them feel like, oh, we can't promote it anymore. But this, like, every update, you mentioned it, things leak every update, and the leaks are not wrong ever. So we
But
can
yeah,
trust these leaks.
I'm pretty sure the leaks come from, at least from what I've heard, and I don't know if this is true or not, but this is the only reasonable way I can think. Comes from people who are like beta testing the game
Yeah,
basically, or the new updates, and they just don't care about their NDA and they just leak shit.
yeah, of course.
And some of them, I'm sure, get away with it. And I think I heard of a couple who got busted and probably were facing legal action at that point.
Yeah, of course.
So it's really dangerous for people who um, are beta testing to leak something, because if they get busted, they're probably going to go to prison, to be honest, or at least be fined. Um,
But but yeah, it happened. These characters got leaked. Nothing else besides the characters got leaked, to my understanding. There might have been like one or two other things that did, but the main thing was the characters. Everybody was been talking about the characters that got leaked, and yeah, it's like the reason why, in particular, we both play this game or played recently this game. It's a popular game. A lot of money is transferred through this game. This is probably, very confident in saying this. This is a multi-billion-dollar game per year. It just is. I can confidently say that. So you need to have two-factor authentication set up in your game. So any thoughts regarding? I mean, any other thoughts regarding the leaks? These two characters. It's a cryo and a pyro. Cryo Claymore, pyro mage. I'm gonna guess.
yeah, it looks like Pyro Mage and Cryo Claymore.
Yeah,
Also, when are they going to add more weapon types to the game? Like,
I don't know.
like
there are very important things that should be in the pipeline.
yeah, like I've gotten to the point with Genshin. I haven't played it in a week or so, and I just don't feel any need to. The most recent patch, I think, just came out today or yesterday, or it's
Yesterday, I think.
this week.
It was yesterday, I think.
And I mean, there's some interesting things that look like they're in it, but I just don't care. There's no real new content. There's like a little more like story stuff, and these
It's
like
little, yeah.
there's these, story quests, flowchart, get to know certain character quests, whatever. I don't want to forget what they call them, but
They're dating
I'm like,
sims. It's 100% a
yeah,
dating sim.
yeah, sure, dating sim quests. That's a
Yep.
good way of putting it. And I'm just like, okay, cool, but the Dragon Spine update was awesome because it was a new area, there was stuff to explore, it was cool. And since then, the last two updates are honestly just so filler and just
Yeah.
boring.
Uh,
I just
The
don't care.
yeah, the update one, not the one before. The Leeway
The Lantern
festival
Rite,
event. Yeah.
the Lantern Rite,
The
yeah.
Lantern Rite was terrible. That was a terrible event. The rewards were pretty good, but it was a bad event. The only good things I liked about it were the rewards, and the tower defense game was actually pretty good. It wasn't that bad. I was shocked at how good it was by my expectations of it. This current one, it's basically some banners, dating sim, and that's it. Maybe probably a quest or two. Um,
Yeah, they usually add like one new story quest
yeah,
or something,
it's
or character story quest, I should say.
it's like it's a hamburger. It's very boring.
Yeah, it's
It's
another
it's
filler.
a hamburger.
It's another filler patch. I'm
It
like,
is,
okay.
and yeah, I'm like, I won't say I'm with you 100% on all of that. I do play it like half an hour to an hour. I just do like dailies and beat some bosses and just stop. I don't even do quests anymore. I just freaking ignore those. Um, but they need a new region so badly. But there's also one other thing I wanted to mention. There's some more Genshin drama. You can probably see it. It's very hard to see on the overlay, I'm sure. Okay. This is going to go. You just prepare yourself for this. The new character on the next banner, not the Venti one, but the child one, Rosaria.
Rosario, okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
People are upset. Apparently, the boobs were nerfed.
They were nerfed.
Yes. I can't tell the difference. I really can't. You can't.
From when we saw her in like the story in the
Yep.
Dragon Spine,
Yep.
you mean?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So the weebs are mad, and you could even see it. Maybe if you stop nerfing tits, you wouldn't have this happen to you. I'm sorry. Just like it's like so direct. Fan service is good for anime fans. If they deny it, they're obviously lying. It's just like so direct. It's like, but they're
Like
actually
this man knows what he likes and he knows what he wants.
And I want to
okay?
say this is an outlier, but this isn't. Like, there are actually a surprising number of people who are like, "Why did you change the tits?" They're like, after what you guys did to Rosario, this sounds like karma. Next time, don't pull a bait and switch. And they're like, okay, I'm sorry. There's a before and after. Before and after. Where's the before? Okay, so this is the before, right? Where's the after? Oh, here's the after. Wait. Oh my god. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a second, folks. We got... Oh my god. We gotta... Hold on. We gotta zoom in. Okay, here's before. Here's that. Okay, just get close to the screen so you can see this.
See it. I can see it. Yeah, but do I care? Not really.
Okay, it's very minor. It's very minor. It is there. They're absolutely right.
They're right.
They're
But
yeah, this is the drama in Genshin. The leaks, and the Rosaria boob nerf. Which this person was super direct about it, but that is an actual sentiment going around the game. There are some angry folks that the boobs got nerfed. I don't know what else to say. It was like the funniest thing coming across on Twitter. Just
did they? By the way, I assume you had your issue with Barbara's voice lines. Is that still an issue?
Oh, I can't do. I'll go back to English at some point. And I'll let you know. I haven't changed it back to English. I should check. Yeah, that voice was terrible. And it's not the voice actor's fault at all. I just want to be super clear. Not her fault. It's literally MiHoYo's fault.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, okay. I mean, Genshin is gonna continue to rake in the money no matter what they do.
I also want to comment.
They're literally rerunning Venti right now, and
there's one other thing I want to say. Let's look through the most recent characters that are dropping for this game. Let's include the leaked ones. Again, my statement. I'm making the statement. I'm not saying anything about it. The 2 female characters that are coming in 1.5. Rosaria is coming out for this one. This is a new character. Oh god. Tu Hao?
Hu Tao.
Hu Tao, thank you. Hu Tao, Ganyu. Right? Wasn't it Ganyu right before?
Ganyu, Xiao, Hu Tao.
Xiao, that's it. Xiao. So since Ganyu, we've gotten Ganyu, Xiao, Hu Tao, Rosaria, and the 2 new lead characters which are going to be female.
Yeah, no.
If somebody
we're rolling in waifus right now.
This person's saying fan service is good for anime fans. You're having only waifus. Women are the banners. Like they're the new characters. You have a lot already. Like what? Why are you upset? You have a ton. There is a ton in this game. It's just like the recent characters for the last month. Yeah, you've got Mona, you've got Ganyu, you've got all these other characters.
You've got Jean, you've got
what are you,
Kaching, like, come on.
Buddy, they reduce the size of the breasts. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I have a very special announcement for you. Pornhub exists. Just type it in. Type it in right now onto your search bar. Probably want to put it in private mode though.
And if you want the anime, there's sites for that too.
There's sites for that. It's okay. Go there. You obviously want to go there already. You don't need it in your video game as well. You just go there. So, okay. That was the
Freya.
that was it. That was all the news. It's just I'll go back to the other screen. We're good with Genshin, I think, for now.
Yeah, no.
Oh my god, it's just sometimes you just
Try's right about that, by the way.
I don't care. Go into your in private mode, type in some naughty words. You're gonna be set. You're gonna be set. I don't even care. This is the thing. I don't care. I don't care that I'm saying this. I'm sorry. If we get banned, you can blame me. I don't care. Just type hentai into your browser. It's fine. I don't judge you. People have urges. It's okay. It's okay. Get it out of your system, then go play Genshin. You'll be fine. It's okay. I don't understand this sometimes. Otto's Berry. Look, listen to me.
Technically not married yet.
Listen to me. Everybody has been through this. It's okay to admit it. Everybody has been through these things. It's all right. You can admit it. It's okay to admit it. Nobody is judging in here. We're adults. We're adults for the most part, I think.
True.
We're adults. I'm sometimes not an adult, but we're all adults. And it's okay to admit face to face, maybe through direct message, hey, I look at porn. Okay, great. Welcome.
Welcome to reality.
Welcome to reality. All of us have probably been doing it since we were teenagers. Okay? It's not a big deal. Since we all discovered, wait, the internet? What's that? What's that? And then we started typing things and go, huh. And then we started experimenting, and then things started to happen. And the next thing you know, instead of typing in like ESPN, you're typing BOOB. And you see new things. And you're like, wow, it's amazing. This is free? This is free? I didn't know that. I didn't know. Wow. Sorry, but like, these people sometimes, you have to be able to tell them. And you're just like, guys, you know that this is a thing, right? Like, do I have to? Am I really the one to have to tell you? I shouldn't have to be. So, anyway, oh my gosh, I told you I'm in a mood today. I'm in a not caring mood. Like, I don't. Okay. Do you want to talk about? You finished East, right? You want to segue?
That's a segue.
A segue.
Should we do that or should we do rando?
Oh
first?
shit, we can do rando. First.
All right, let's talk about KH2 rando tournament real quick. So we are in top 8 now. As I mentioned the last time we talked about this, I did make top 8.
Yep.
And I had my first top 8 match on Saturday, which I unfortunately lost, partially due to some technical difficulties with Windows Update deciding that it was a good time to download an update in the background while I was running my rando, which, takes a good amount of processing power, and it just tanked my gameplay. It was lagging. It was awful.
Yep.
And I spent some time trying to fix it. And then realized, about 20 minutes into the run, I had a little pop-up on my taskbar that was like, hey, Windows has an update for you. I was like, oh, so that's what happened, huh? That's what you did to me? Thanks, Windows. Appreciate it. I also didn't play that well, and I watched back some of the VOD. My opponent did play quite well. I lost by about 5 minutes. I was disappointed, obviously, but I wasn't like super upset about it or anything, because that's how it goes. Can't win them all. We're in double elimination now, so I will have a loser's bracket match against either Jared or Sonic, whoever loses that match. So that will be a tough one. That will be a tough one to continue. They're both very good. Well, everyone in top 8 is a very good player, but Jared and Sonic are both really good. So whoever I play, it will likely be tough for me to continue. But it's possible. It's rando.
It's part of the event. You got tougher opponents are coming.
Yep. And then our good buddy Dodge, he played his match last night and got just obscenely unlucky.
So wait.
Um,
Was this his double elimination match? His second match or first?
it was his
Match?
first, still his
Okay, first
first
match.
match, so he's not
Okay.
out
Yeah.
either.
Go. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
But he is playing an opponent who kind of likes to do, I won't say stupid things, but likes to push deep things. Like he likes to fight Sephiroth, who is the one super boss we have on in the game.
What? Why? Isn't that like a completely avoidable fight that doesn't? Does that give a lot of reward?
There's one check on Sephiroth.
What? Then why?
Apparently he practices it a lot and he likes fighting Sephiroth. He likes doing it. And he yeah, I mean, long story short, there was a proof on Sephiroth
Okay.
and Dodge, if the proof was literally anywhere else, Dodge would have won 100%. Because there was also it was like one of the worst seeds I've ever seen. They had 30 out of 50 important checks at 2 hours and 10 minutes, which is
that's gross.
exceptionally awful. There were 2 things in Beast Castle 2, 3 things, or no, 2 or 3 things in Space Paranoids 2, like 3 things in Land of Dragons 2. There was just so many things that were deep. There was a proof on Sephiroth. There was 2 things in Agrabah 2. It was just a brutally awful seed. There were a couple of like unhinted reports in Port Royal that that neither of them got.
Yep.
It was just a really stupid seed. Dodge actually played it quite well, in my opinion, and he just got screwed over by Rando by having against the one guy who loves doing Sephiroth. There was a freaking proof on Sephiroth. Like,
I mean,
it
look.
was really dumb.
I will say this. Sometimes, in the most rarest of occasions, it's better to be lucky than good. On the most rare occasions, it's better to be lucky, and that is an immensely lucky thing because it's if there's one proof on Sephiroth and there's nothing else behind it, right? So there's just one.
Yeah, it's the last
one
check.
check. It's the one check.
Yeah, so usually when you get to the end of Hollow Bastion, which is the world that Sephiroth is in, there's 2 checks you have left. Well, when you get past everything, you get to the 3rd visit of Hollow Bastion, and you have the going chest, which is right there as soon as you enter. There's the proof of peace, the mushroom check, which you need the proof of peace to get, which is one of the other 3 proofs, which we had last night. It wasn't the one we were missing. That's 2 checks. And then there's the last chest of Cavern of Remembrance, which we usually don't get because you usually do core skip, and there's like an invisible wall there if you do core skip for just the way it works. And there's Sephiroth. And yeah, it just turned out that there was a hint for Hollow Bastion. There are only 4 important checks in Hollow Bastion, which that world averages 6 because there's 60 checks in Hollow Bastion. It's a really big world. It's the biggest world in the game. And yeah, he did literally everything else. All the checks. I guess the Dodge's opponent didn't do the last chest of core. He decided to do Sephiroth before he did that. But so yeah, I mean, it was just brutally unlucky that there was a check. A, there was a check on Sephiroth, and B, it was a proof.
Oh God.
It was just absurd. Again, if the proof was literally anywhere else, I'm pretty sure Dodge would have won.
But it wasn't.
But it wasn't. It was on Sephiroth.
And the person again, it just seems like it's. I'm just gonna say it. Sounds kind of dumb to go after something that Sephiroth is I imagine a very challenging boss. So particularly with where you're at. So why would
He's the hard in the settings we have on. He's the hardest fight because we have Terra off. That's the other super boss, and we have the Data Org. The Data Org fights, those are off too, so we don't have to do those.
So why? Yeah, logically,
Sephiroth should be literally the last thing.
Exactly,
you do,
it's the last thing you check. But this person just does it. Okay. I'm not gonna say it's like a dumb decision either. It's just like, okay, It's just like that is not a logical choice. You
No,
just
it's
really
not.
like it. So, okay.
Yeah, and then his opponent also like the hint for the Agrabah 2 proof was in Spooky Cave and 100 Acre Wood, and his opponent like after he got the Sephiroth proof went to 100 Acre Wood and then did a little bit of it and then left and went to Agrabah for some inexplicable reason without the hint. And like Agrabah 2 is one of the worst checks in the game, especially unhinted. I just don't understand. Apparently I mean, obviously it was over 3 hours at that point, and you're obviously flustered, and it's just a crazy awful seed. Apparently he thought it was the best like quote unquote density left, so he did it, but that was wrong because they still hadn't done Port Royal. Well, they had done up to the minute fight, but they're if you wanted density, you should have done Port Royal.
Yeah.
So that didn't really make sense to me either, and I don't know. Us in the Dodge camp were like, you know, I have no evidence, but this is looking sus as hell. I'm gonna be honest. Like it just seemed like you can't prove anything that he cheated or that the whoever rolled the seed rolled it specifically for him. You can't prove anything like that, and I'm not saying it happened, but it didn't. It looked sus. That's what I'll say. Is like it looked kind of bad. It was like
Okay.
really against the guy that loves doing Sephiroth. You roll a Sephiroth seed, and then he does unhinted Agrabah too. It doesn't really make any sense to me.
I
But
mean, to play devil's advocate, he do Sephiroth every single rando did he do it every single match before this one? Did he do it all
I
the time?
I doubt it.
So he just randomly did it here.
Well, it was hinted.
Oh, it was hinted. So he did it. It was hinted. Okay. So he did it when it was hinted. He said he
Well,
liked doing
it
it. Okay.
it was 50-50 hinted.
Yeah, of course. But, I don't know. 50-50. If the guy likes doing it, okay, fine. Sure. Maybe. It's weird, but maybe. I don't know, like, how many. If you're unhinted into Agrabah, I don't know how many, like, checks or whatever you get from that compared to anywhere else. He said it was the highest density, but that's wrong. What was the difference in density?
So at the point he went to Agrabah, he hadn't finished Agrabah 1 yet, which has 6 checks, and
Mm,
then Agrabah 2 also has 6 checks, so that's 12.
okay.
Um, Port Royal would had between 15 and 20 left.
So wait. So Port Royal. So it's basically 12 versus 15 to 20, or is
Yeah,
it?
but Port Royal's also way faster to clear.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So do you like just from your mind? Do you know how much faster it is? What would your best guess be?
Mm,
Like a couple minutes?
yeah, probably a couple of minutes.
Okay. I mean, unhinted, going somewhere. You're shooting in the dark for sure, right? Obviously, to a place that doesn't was Port Royal hinted at all?
No. Port Royal hinted itself apparently, but it was later. You would have had to do it unhinted to find the hint for Port Royal, and
That's
that
funny.
does happen. That does
That's
happen
funny.
sometimes.
Okay, so it's so either the person just didn't know that they were wrong, or yeah, they just made like an again just an it could really be just like
Yeah,
okay,
I mean it's rando. Sometimes bad plays work in rando because it's rando. If your quote unquote bad play leads you to the proof or something else that you need, then it ends up being a good play because
uh,
yeah,
it's
it's a
I would
randomizer.
still analyze it as a poor choice
Yeah,
logically,
no, it's still a bad
but the
choice,
play
but
works out, so there you go. But logically, not sound. Anyway, so you when's your next match?
I don't know yet. I need to wait for Jared and Sonic to play
Oh, they
first
haven't played.
because
Okay,
I play the loser of that and they play on Saturday,
okay,
this
they play on Saturday.
Saturday.
Okay, they play Saturday, and then you'll figure it out from there. But
Yeah, and if Daj and I both win, if we each win our next 2 matches in losers bracket, then we'll play each
then we'll
other,
play each other.
and we'll have to knock one of us will knock the other out at that point.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, again, being here, you're gonna face a lot of good players. But I will say, if you're in top 8, I think your judgment should be sound. It's kind of weird that someone would make poor judgment on like potentially multiple different levels. The Sephiroth thing, if you like it, I mean, I get it. I really do. Like, you go for something you enjoy, even if it's not necessarily the right play, you go for it. But the like, you're just like that person had to have played randos enough to know the number of checks. Like, they should be able to do basic arithmetic at that point. And
Yeah, I mean
the
that.
logic leap is a bit strange, but
Yeah,
it
again,
is what it is.
he's, I don't know. He's kind of known as a player who just likes to push kind of deep stuff, and there's certain things that he's really good at, and he's definitely a strong mechanical player. He does play go mode a lot, which is starting with all three proofs and just trying to win as fast as possible.
Oh, okay.
Um, so he's good at a good number of things. He's definitely a strong player. I'm not saying that he's bad or that he doesn't deserve to be in top 8, because I don't think I could say that for anyone who's in top 8, but to me at least, his his routing is very suspect.
Okay.
That's what I'll say.
Okay. Well, in any case, it happened.
Yep, that's how it
You,
goes.
yep.
It's a randomizer, and
Unless
sometimes
unless one of the
randomizer.
admins launches an investigation, it is what it is. That's it. Which I don't know. I don't know if they've ever had to investigate a match for this particular tournament, but
Not in this one, actually. In one of the leagues, the last big league, there was a player in top 8 who ended up getting DQ'd because I don't exactly know the details of it, but they somehow determined that he was cheating in one way or another. Um,
okay. So they have done it before. That is something. But anyway, um, okay, we've got like 10 minutes before my class. I gotta run. Gotta sprint to class. But
there actually is a prize. Actually, there's going to be a cash prize for, I think, the winner and maybe second. I don't remember.
yeah, so at that point there is an incentive to do it. But if there's no incentive, like, come on, come on, like it's just like whatever. Um, let's see. There's like I said, there's a little bit of time. Do you want to save these for next time? I know you probably have a lot to say, so I don't want to
Do
force
I
you into a like a small
do I have a
space.
lot to say? I'm not sure I have a lot to say.
Okay,
I
go
think
ahead then.
maybe we can do it in 10 minutes.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Let's see what we can do. So yeah, I finished East 9. It's a couple of weeks ago at this point. We had it on the list to talk about last week, but we didn't have time.
Sure.
So yeah, I I just kind of echo most of what I've said up to this point. The game is very fun. The gameplay is fun. All the characters are fun to play. Um, which is different from 8, because again, I think like 2 or 3 of the
Mm.
characters were fun to play in 8, and the other 3 were pretty bleh.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, so that was an improvement in this one. As we've said before, the city exploration is great, but the environments are drab, and the game is very formulaic in that, as I said, each chapter you kind of go around, you do side quests, which allows you to open up another section of the city, and then you do the main quest, and you enter the prison, find out a little bit more, and then rinse and repeat.
Sure.
Um, and yeah, even in the latter chapters, that continues. In the later chapters, you're unlocking a few areas that are outside of the city, so you get to explore a few areas that are outside of the city, so you get some of those open plains and stuff. But again, the environments still at that point are not super interesting. um there's like a plains area, there's a mountain area, and there's like a swamp, and yeah, that's about it. um and the story, there was a definitely quite a good twist to the story, that I did like near the end. Not the very end, but I think in the second to last chapter, I want to say, is when that happens. Kind of explains everything that was going on, and
Mm-hmm.
why there's 2 adults, and kind of everything that's going on with the city and the prison, and you know this crisis.
Hmm.
Um, One thing I'll say about the story that I didn't like so much is the villain, the main antagonist. Um, there's a character in the game who serves as the antagonist through most of it, and I wouldn't say this is the like switcheroo antagonist thing that sometimes happens where it's like, you have an antagonist you have through the whole game, and then all of a sudden at the end it's like, aha, it was me all along when
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
someone
sure.
else. I wouldn't say it was that, so that's not my problem with it, because there was sort of alluded to that there was throughout the game that there was some other character kind of behind the scenes who was pulling the strings of
Yeah,
the main
the puppet
antagonist.
master, the puppet
Yeah,
master.
this was alluded to. It didn't come out of nowhere, so I wouldn't say that my problem with it is. My problem with it is when the twist happens, you meet this main antagonist, and then they tell you the twist, they tell you why they're the villain, and but then they say something along the lines with, yes, I'm working on my magnum opus, and you shall see what it is, and then they, I don't remember what happens, they like knock you out, or they just disappear, or they walk away, and then you don't see the main villain again until the very end of the game when you confront him.
Hmm.
Um, and there you find out what the magnum opus is, and then you fight the final boss and the game is over. There's no like
Build up.
build up. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no like build up or like, yeah, there's no like dread of like what is going to happen if you don't deal with this, because you don't find out what he's doing until you are literally
Okay. So
fighting him.
the impending doom was pretty poor, or there was just wasn't one. Because usually with these games, like frankly, there's an impending doom. Like there is
Yeah,
some.
his plan was also really dumb.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Well, don't tell me or anything.
yeah, I'm not gonna spoil it. The plan was dumb. Um,
Well, that's not good.
so yeah, I didn't really like the main villain as far as that went. But other than that, I think the story was good. I like the characters, and gameplay wise, the characters were fun to play. I didn't particularly love the final boss fight, and there was like one other boss fight that I didn't like, but um, yeah, the game is really fun. I think overall, I like Ys 8 slightly better,
Mm-hmm.
just because the environments are more interesting. The music was a little better in Ys 8, and though I think the characters in Ys 9 are like more well-rounded in being interesting, like I cared about more of them.
Mm-hmm.
Donna just trumps literally all of them.
Oh,
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because Donna was amazing in Ys 8. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think honestly that's about it. The game's really fun. I definitely recommend it. I know you were a fan of Ys 8, so I'm
I
sure you
was.
will like Ys 9. Um,
Yeah, I've just accepted the fact that I probably won't get to it till summer.
oh yeah, and I know you won't play
Because
it for a while probably,
yeah,
but
I just don't think I'll get to it till summer, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Okay. If you were to give it a rating, do you want to give it a rating?
um, I'll go with an 8.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That
It's
is.
really solid.
That's
Not,
good. That
there's
sounds like a good
nothing.
game.
There's not. Yeah, there's a few things here and there with the pacing and the prison at all sections, which I talked about previously, that are
Sure.
kind of bleh, and then the final confrontation with the main villain was kind of whatever. But um, yeah, the story, and honestly, like for like East 8, I'd probably give an 8 as well. Maybe I'd bump it to an 8.5 just to distinguish that it's better. But I would, yeah, for
Okay.
like these games, they're just really solid in a lot of aspects, but there's nothing about them usually that is exceptional, but there's nothing that's bad either, really. So it's really easy to give them like a 7 or an 8, like
Yeah. I mean,
depending on how you're
it
feeling.
it
They're just really
yeah.
solid overall. But there's nothing that I dislike enough about either of them that would make me bump it down to a 7. Like, the game is just really solid all around. The story's good, the characters are good, the game is fun to play. Um, yeah, nothing exceptional, but nothing
Yeah,
bad
nothing
either.
poor. Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
mean, but that's like that can be good if you're like if you've got nothing to play currently and you're just looking for something that you want to enjoy. Like I think the East games are great for that. It's like okay, it's not like an overly long game.
yeah,
There's still substance to it. It's fun. There's a lot of obviously because it's an action game, you're getting a lot of you're definitely consistently stimulated with like fast paced battle sequences. So like an 8 is something where it's like okay, hey, are you a fan of RPGs or JRPGs? Yes. Do you have anything else to play at the moment? No. Okay. Well, this is something you should play.
yeah,
40-hour game. That's
yeah, and
that's
yeah,
what I get from that.
it did take about 40 hours. I wanted to mention that as well. I think it's slightly shorter than Ys 8. I want to say both games I basically 100%ed as far as a single playthrough would go. I didn't get the platinum trophy in either,
Hmm.
but I explored the entire map. I opened every treasure chest. I got all the character notes. I like maxed out the logbook that is there in the journal section of the game. So I pretty much 100%ed the game as far as you can in a single playthrough.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that took about 40 hours in
Okay.
9. So you could do the game faster if you did less.
Sure.
Um, and I think for 8 that took me about 50. So
Okay.
I did the same thing in 8 and it took me closer to 50. So
Okay.
I think this game's slightly shorter than 8 as
Got it.
well. Um,
Okay. Cool. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like the game is good. Like East 8 was
it's
good.
good.
So if this being good, like just more of that is always nice, but a little bit,
Yep.
a little bit different, obviously. Okay. Let's round this out. We're at class time for me. Also, I gotta
Hmm.
make some like food very quickly. But yeah, please continue to support the podcasts. Hopefully, within the next week or so, we'll get some more activity through Discord. I'm actually thinking, as a sort of side note, I was at some point going to watch the new Justice League movie, the Snyder Cut one.
Oh yeah.
I know if DC movies have like this reputation, but this is a 4-hour movie. I was thinking of like finding some time and just sitting down and watching it. I might do stream it in the Discord if anybody wants to watch
Okay.
4 hours of riveting DC Comics movie because I do want to watch it. It's just like okay, I want to see what's different. You heard it's terrible? Oh, that might make it better. That might make it
I
better.
thought and IGN gave it a good review. I think they gave it like an 8 or a 9,
Oh,
but
okay.
I
Well,
mean
we'll
it's
see.
IGN, so who knows?
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah,
4 hours seems excessive,
oh
but
my god, yes, it is. So at some point, I might do like a movie with that. So if anybody, I'll let people know if I do when I do it. Um, but additionally, besides just supporting our channel and all that, just as a quick side note from my end, from my personal end, starting Friday, going to be doing like a charity event. Spoon's going to join me. He will be there though, not right away. He'll be there in the middle of next week. I don't remember the exact date. You'll have to figure it out.
Tuesday
Yeah,
and Friday.
Tuesday and Friday. Yeah. So be sure to stop by. Friday it'll start in the morning. So for those of you that have work, obviously you got to do work stuff, right? But it'll go from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time every day. Weekends will go like an extra hour or two, and we'll be playing all sorts of stuff. Like I got all my Mega Man X games we're going to be playing. I got a game called 20XX we're going to play, which is like a roguelike. Dead Space. I know like Spoon's going to join. We have Abandon joining. Several of the Full Auto boys are going to join. Vis and Hectic. They're going to be playing. They're going to be playing Souls likes. So if you like Souls likes, you should join for that. And I think I'm going to get Ian Bits to join us too. Ian's a good guy too. So for anybody who plays Destiny in the Destiny group, Ian will join us for one day in particular. But yep, we're going to be raising money for Monterey Bay Aquarium. So be sure to check out my Twitch channel for that and my Twitter. I'll post stuff for that. And again, Spoon will be there. He'll do a rando on next Friday.
Yep.
And he'll be doing Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, which is a DMCA nightmare, but it's really really good.
We'll
It's got
try
good
not
music.
to we'll try not to play the Super DMCA songs like the Utada ones or Let It Go.
Yeah.
Those ones are
Yeah.
killer,
Oh
but
God. Yeah. Please don't.
yeah.
Please don't. I'm begging you. Please don't. But okay. That's any other final thoughts before we cut stream?
Nope.
Okay.
We're good.
Thanks everybody for coming by. It was an interesting day. and we had some fun, I think. So
Hmm.
we'll see you guys. Okay, I
I
got to
know, Mike.
clarify Rainbow Six group tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, hopefully I'll see you guys this week or next week for the next episode of the podcast. So thanks, everybody. Have a good one.